What is going on, everybody? This is your moron with the conscious, aka conscious moron. What's going on? I was on Twitter earlier, and I got to show y'all a couple clips. I mean, the MAGA crowd is look. When I say melting down, they are really melting down. They are losing it. Like they are tripping. Let's check some of this out real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. What is he talking about right here?
Just write it out and think of it as the flu. Every down could have kept it open. And I could have done what some countries are doing. I had to shut it down, and we did the right thing. I thought of keeping it open. And we did just the right thing. We closed it down. And a group of very smart people walk in and say, sir, we have to close it. And we did the right thing. They can't do anything without the approval of the President of the United States. Even the Democrats aren't blaming me for that. We had to close it up. Some people wish we never closed it down. We did the right thing. We closed it. It's a decision for the President of the United States. So we did the right thing. We had to close it up because nobody's ever heard of closing down a country, let alone the United States of America. We had to turn off the airlines. We had to turn off everything. And we did the right thing. A lot of people have thought about it. Write it out. Don't do anything. Just write it out and think of it as the flu. But it's not the flu. It's vicious. We basically shut down our country. We did the right thing. We had to close it down. The President of the United States calls the shots, and we had to close it down. We did the right thing. They're not working in offices. They're not in airplanes together. And we did close up. We had to close it up, and we did the right thing. We closed it down. We did the right thing. We closed it up. We were told you got to shut it down, stop it, tell everyone to stay home.
This sounds funny.
Because of this horrible virus, and we did that. We had to artificially close our country. We've done this right, and we really have done this right. We did the right thing. Everything we did was right.
Wrap it up. But close it up. It almost seems like a suture, but okay. Nevertheless, let's see if you will.
Campaign chairman was a felon. So is his deputy campaign manager, his personal lawyer, his chief strategist, his national security advisor, his trade advisor, his foreign policy advisor, his campaign fixer, and his company CFO. They're all felons, judged by the company you keep. It's a cabal of convicts. Stop trying to sell me on everything's rigged.
Well, yeah, so is George Floyd. And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd. No, absolutely in that room. No, absolutely not. I mean, everything I said is correct. It's how the American people feel. It's what we know to be a fact. It's all the evidence has been proven true. We have Jamie Raskin in there accusing us of worshiping Trump. Worshiping as a convicted felon.
He is a convicted felon.
Well, yeah, so is George Floyd.
Oh.
And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd.
Man.
Democrats worship George Floyd. There were riots burning down the fucking country over George Floyd. Ooh. And Raskin is in there saying we worship him.
Ooh, somebody's mega mad. Or should I say MAGA mad? Why do I say mega? It's MAGA mad. She's MAGA mad in this one. George, what does George Floyd have to do with Donald Trump? Damn. She can't compare Donald Trump to Barack Obama, though, so maybe she got to go with George Floyd. Because Barack Obama would be beating Trump since he has 2 terms and Trump only has 1.
Excuse me, let me correct you, and this is really important. I don't worship, I worship God. God. And Jesus is my savior. I don't worship President Trump. And I'm really sick and tired of the bullshit annex I have to deal with constantly from the Democrats. So that's what we just went through in there. And then they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there? Whoever was talking last was calling me insane. But yet we can't say, oh, they're attacking my character. Oh no, it's nonstop BS and annex. You want to know why? The Democrats don't have anything. They're responsible for the lockdowns, forced vaccinations, kids being forced to stay home, people committing suicide, and all the horrors that this country lived through during COVID. Fauci belongs in prison. He should be tried for mass murder, and he should be tried for crimes against humanity. That's how I feel after that hearing. That's how the American people feel. Excuse me.
Whoa, that is North Georgia. Y'all got to do better.
I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing. And then this happened to me. And so I may feel differently about it. I can't tell you. I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up.
Lock her up is right.
I didn't say lock her up.
For what she's done, they should lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up.
Crooked, you should lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up.
Lock up Hillary.
If she were to win this election, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis. In that situation, we could very well have a sitting president under felony indictment and ultimately a criminal trial.
Guilty. That is Donald J. Trump, defendant in New York versus Donald Trump, found guilty on all 34 felony counts. That is the verdict here in this case.
They all said lock her up, and I felt, and I could have done it, but
apologizing to you that some of our colleagues in the United States House of Representatives seem to want to drag your name through the mud. They're treating you, Dr. Fauci, like a convicted felon. Actually, you probably wish they were treating you like a convicted felon. They treat convicted felons with love and admiration. Some of them blindly worship convicted felons. I want to join my colleague from Florida.
I seem to remember that back in May of 2020, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid said that President Trump had signed an executive order to cap the price of insulin for Medicare recipients at $35. Now, maybe I'm misremembering that, but I think it kind of already happened.
The messaging is interesting. And
on that insulin thing,
That's crazy.
In an interview that you gave as part of an audiobook written by Michael Spector, that you believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it. I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term. Once people feel empowered in their lives.
My medical license was threatened because I disagreed with bureaucrats. Literally taken off the internet. As a person who is treating patients with leading edge, my medical license was threatened. Policy surrounding the pandemic was immediately labeled as
Yeah, I don't really care about it.
I'm actor, director, and two-time sexiest man alive, George Clooney. Science has given us unprecedented knowledge of the natural world, from subatomic particles to the majesty of space. Science enables us to cure diseases, to communicate across great distances, even to fly. Tragically, though, the volumes of invaluable knowledge gathered over centuries are now...
Okay.
If he's watching, what would you want to say to him?
I would say that this country needs to move forward, that we need a leader who tackles serious problems and serious issues that this country faces. And we need faith in our institutions again. And the next president of the United States needs to do that.
And in your opinion, that's not him?
It is not him. Correct.
The former president is known to watch 60 Minutes.
Hold on, I dropped some. I don't really care about them. Let's see how. What does that say? Inflation over 12 months. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. It keeps dropping on you. Oh, that ain't no video. It look like it says at 3% now, buddies. Breaking even Fox News admitting inflation has decreased. Spread this graphic everywhere so all Americans know buying hard work is paying off. Okay, we'll retweet that. There you go, buddy. Say I never did nothing for you. No, let me stop. But it was one on my page. My profile. Okay, there you go. said that. Oh, we just did that. Okay, listen to this.
What President Obama said yesterday, admittedly, many Democrats feel he was inartful in his phrasing yesterday about not having a strategy ready for Syria. You also, though, criticized the president's wardrobe, his choice of suit, of a light-colored suit. Do you think that was fair to do that?
Yeah, because it was in the context of the president coming out. The world and the country have been waiting for a week for what he's going to say about Syria, what he's going to say about ISIS. And he comes out, yes, with these.
But think about that. He's talking about literally what this man is wearing, and then the profound time that it was when they're talking about the attack on Syria. But it's cool for a convicted felon. I'm sure Peter King still's down with Trump. He's cool for a convicted felon, how the perception looks on that and that he's trying to run the country.
New suit on, but what bothered me was he began by not even talking about Syria. He said he wanted to talk about the issue that most Americans are concerned about, and that's the fact that the economic numbers for the second quarter had been adjusted. And to me, that was an insult to the memory of Jim Foley, who was killed.
Why did you take issue with the suit?
Because you know the image makers in the White House. Here's a president coming out at such a serious moment. He should be addressing the country on such a serious matter, and he looked like he was on his way to a party at the Hamptons, which would have been fine if he addressed the issue at hand. But instead, he started talking about the economy, saying that was more important than Syria. And I just thought it detracted from the seriousness of the moment. It's different, for instance, than what David Cameron, the way he addressed the British people today. To me, it was it did not show the seriousness of purpose that you need from a commander-in-chief at such a serious time as this.
Even when we've seen other former presidents, President Clinton, President Reagan, I believe, addressing the nation in similar attire?
At a moment like this, when the whole country is waiting to see, and the whole world is waiting to see, to me, he could have won whatever he wanted if he addressed the issue head on. But to come out and start talking about the economy, to me, just detracted from the seriousness of the moment. And I thought the suit was a metaphor for his lack of seriousness.
What? You see that, man? You see what I'm saying? Where is it now? Hold on. This crazy.
You resigned your position as House Minority Leader after your drunk driving arrest surfaced this year. And my question is not about what you did while drunk, which for anybody who missed it was speeding up I-25 at 90 miles per hour so fast a trooper thought that you were trying to race him. Then you reached for your gun during the traffic stop. You asked the trooper to call the State Patrol's lobbyist. Then you asked him to keep the arrest out of the media. My question to you is about what you did while sober. You did not disclose your drunk driving arrest to your Republican colleagues when they were considering you for leader and electing you.
Yeah.
What does that tell voters about your judgment?
Well, thank you, Kyle, for that. I mean, I think this is a little bit of you guys being a little sore because you didn't catch this for, quite some time. This was all public knowledge, right? So I didn't disclose, I didn't hide anything from anybody. And I'll be honest with you, I had 2 seniors in high school at that time, and they didn't need to go through that publicity. I also was not even elected to that position at that time. So, that was a personal decision. No doubt. I own that. That was a bad mistake. Should not have done it.
Was it a mistake not to tell your colleagues when they were considering you for leader, knowing that you had something so big and embarrassing in your recent past?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, this happened, at a time that was, this was before even we had theater incidents or anything else that was embarrassing to folks. And so,
that was a little jab.
Serving in public life is hard work, and exposing your life to it is, a personal decision. And I chose not to.
That was about the softest reference that he could have made. But do you want to talk about the theater thing?
Sure. So, Kyle, I certainly have owned up to my night out in Denver. And, I've gone on that public apology tour, and I'm grateful for the mercy and grace that has been shown. But I'm not going to continue to live life in shame and be beat up by this. And, I would like to go back to my legislative record for just a second.
We're not going to do that. You had plenty of time to answer the question. You chose not to.
Sure.
That's fine. I just want to make sure.
I'll have more time.
You have
Don't
apologized for the theater incident.
I certainly have.
And I just want to make sure. did you apologize for the behavior that went on with you and your date or the vaping, or did you apologize, or pardon me, or did you apologize for lying to voters about what you did that night and the disrespect that you showed to service workers that night? What specifically were you apologizing for?
I don't believe there was disrespect. There were things that were absolutely taken out of context.
There's video of your interactions with service workers. I'm asking,
right,
are you apologizing for the lying to voters,
that I
or
flipped
the
someone off, and I did not. So, I mean, I think it's been very mischaracterized. I'm apologizing for you, Kyle Clark, getting footage and releasing that. And people seeing this in a very private moment.
Certainly. It was very important to figure out whether you were telling the truth
you just had
or
an
whether a
interview
public
recently with
agency was
CityCast
lying about your
Denver.
conduct.
You just
Either
had
way was
an
very
interview with
important
CityCast
for folks to
Denver, and
find
you were
out.
saying how
Thank you
disgusting
very
it
much.
is
We're
to
going to talk about
record
earmarks
someone without their
Congress.
knowledge.
Let's talk about the use of
you did that
earmarks in
very
Congress.
same thing and released
Members
it to the world.
request fund.
Wow. Republicans. We saw that one already. What you talking about
unifying the Republican Party, because as we see in the in these states, a third of the vote in Virginia, 43% of the vote in Massachusetts going to Nikki Haley, a quarter of the vote in North Carolina.
All right, y'all. I just want I'm trying to get a little bit. I don't know if I'm being able to, but I just wanted to drop this, show a little something. I am on Twitter tomorrow. Go and check me out, all right? And once again, thank you for the likes, the subscribes, and the shares. And remember, without you, there is no more. I'm trying it without the music because you couldn't hear it last time. So we're going to see how it goes this one. All right? Have a good afternoon. Peace in the Middle East. Greece.